What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk all about the Chatter Bait EVO. Now, we just got our hands on this bait. It looks pretty good. It looks like a jackhammer. It's not the price tag of a jackhammer. They changed the hook keeper on it. We've got this hook keeper kind of further back situated on it, but we're going to do a ton of underwater on the Chatter Bait EVO. We're going to talk about trailers. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Caden's up here fishing. We're going to get some underwater. Let's go. Alright guys, when you're looking at chatterbaits, you have to compare everything to the gold standard of bladed jigs, which is the Z-Man Evergreen Jackhammer. So here's a jackhammer with a Rattleworm 4.5 trailer on the back. You can see it's got a vigorous tail kick, that hammering action that the jackhammer is known for, some good side-to-side wobble, very clear. Now let's compare this bait side-to-side with the Chatter Bait EVO. As you can see, looks like the jackhammer has a little bit more side-to-side action. The EVO has a slightly more narrow track with the same trailer on it. So really apples to apples here. You're looking at very much the same head action, but a little bit more accentuated body roll from that jackhammer. And that's not strange to think about because the jackhammer is the gold standard. So when we're looking at chatterbait trailers, we want to consider a couple things. One, the kind of bait fish that we're emulating, and two, what the water clarity is. So today we're fishing clear water, and in clear water I like to go with straight tail baits. The number one chatterbait trailer that I use is the Rattleworm 4.5. It's got a rattle in the tail, it's got that straight tail kick, it's got a nice shimmy underwater, as you can see. And this trailer really does good for me in clear water and murky water, but it's got a nice tight kick on it, and it's got one of those subtle kicks that you enjoy when you're fishing that chatterbait. We like straight tail trailers in clear water because it looks more natural. I like the Rattleworm in dark and dirty water because it's got that rattle in it to give it that extra pop. The second trailer that I really enjoy throwing is your classic Zoom Super Fluke. It's got that forked tail split on the back. It's got a nice kick on it. It's got a bigger profile than the Rattleworm, so it bulks up that bait a little bit. If you're looking for a kicker fish or a bigger fish, upsize your trailer, give those fish more bite on it. When they come up and ram that bait, give them more ability to grab that bait and suck it in, because remember, they're going to inhale that chatterbait as they track it down. A chatterbait is a pure reaction bait. You can catch them in 30-degree water, you can catch them in 100-degree water on a chatterbait. It is a pure reaction bait. Think of it more as a weedless crankbait. A square bill crankbait has the same thump on it that a chatterbait does, so that's a good way to get it. Have we caught something, or we caught ourselves? We caught ourselves. It's tough. Tree pounder. The third bait that I really like to use is the KVD Dream Shot, and I like it because it's got that segmented tail on it for drop shotting, but if you notice, that's going to give it an accentuated kick in the water. So that KVD Dream Shot is really going to add some kick and roll to it in the straight tail category. It's going to give it a different look altogether. It's one of those baits where not a lot of guys throw a lure that looks like this on the back of a chatterbait. Sometimes it's really good to be different. It's got a nice rock and roll on it. It gives it the ability to give fish a different look on that bait. So those are my first three in that straight tail category. The next category I'm going to go to is that minnow tail category. Here is that Berkeley shad that is built for the chatterbait, and you see it's got those hollow areas in it, just like the coal shad. It's got that straight minnow tail. This is a good in-between water clarity bait. It's good in clear, it's good in murky, but it really shines in that in-between, that 4 to 5 foot of visibility on down to about 2. I really like this because it has an accentuated kick and roll on it as you go through the water, so this one does a really good job of giving you a diverse look at the way a bait is coming through the water. Next one, trade secret, is the Zoom Albert Grub. I love throwing a grub as a trailer on a spinnerbait and on a chatterbait. What it's going to do is it's going to give that bait a totally different look and feel in the water. It's really going to add that bluegill type profile kick on the tail, and as you can see, it's got that nice sinuous motion on it with a chatterbait back and forth. So it's the best kind of both worlds when you're talking about that. Now, when you're talking about chatterbait fishing in general, things you want to notice with a chatterbait. Number one, chatterbaits that have a direct connection to the head are always going to be better than chatterbaits that do not. They're going to start kicking as soon as they hit the water and really do a good job of tracking through there. If your chatterbait is not kicking as soon as it hits the water, you're going to miss out on about half your bites. Most of my bites on a chatterbait is after that chatterbait runs into something, then kicks off and starts going again. Two, the second thing you want to notice about a chatterbait is a excellent keeper. Jackhammer has a pretty good keeper. They changed the Evo keeper right here. It's got this extra added lead here on the back to really dig in and keep that there. You also have this wire keeper there to run a ton of different trailers. I don't run a lot of Z-Man trailers on chatterbaits. I really never have. I've always fished with different stuff. So just a different look, a different way, a different feel of throwing chatterbaits. Now, areas that you can throw chatterbaits, right now we're in a channel, a back channel on the St. Joe River, looking for bass. We've seen a bunch back here, they just won't bite. This is a great place to throw a chatterbait in that cooling, falling water, also in the spring in that rising temperature, because these fish are situated around weeds. And if they're around weeds, you can really get them to react well to a chatterbait being ripped and pulled through that kind of vegetation. If you guys like what's going on the channel right now, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Go to our links in Omnia, get those baits that were linked there. That helps us help you become better anglers. Just really thank you for everything that you guys have done for the channel. Thanks for the support. Give us a like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.